Welcome to Connecting the Dots, presented by the California PBIS Coalition. This video is an introduction to our series, illustrating relevant connections between PBIS and critical person-centered best practices. The CPC is a collaborative organization dedicated to providing a standard of practice for PBIS through the work of technical assistance centers representing Southern, Central, and Northern California, with shared responsibility across 11 regions. As representatives from the Placer County and Los Angeles County Offices of Education, we are pleased to introduce you to Connecting the Dots of Culturally Responsiveness and PBIS. Decades of research has shown that implementing Tier 1 universal PBIS practices leads to predictable, consistent, positive, safe, and equitable learning environments. Additional practices, such as social-emotional learning, restorative practice, trauma-informed practices, school-based mental health integration, and cultural responsiveness, also share similar outcomes. Our objective here is to help educators integrate these practices with SWPBIS implementation to take advantage of their collective strengths. This 5-part series of overview videos demonstrates the connection and alignment between PBIS universal implementation and various evidence-based and promising practices. Along with the overview, we will demonstrate the overlapping outcomes associated with PBIS integration and identify features specific to additional practices to enhance learning environments for all students, families, staff, and community. Recent scholarship helps us recognize how the universal implementation of PBIS provides school staffs with the foundation to meet the challenge of enhancing equity. When school personnel collect and disaggregate data, implement a culturally responsive behavior framework, engage in equitable instructional practices, implement policies that address and enhance equity, and train school staffs to neutralize implicit bias, we move toward more culturally responsive schools and classrooms. PBIS implementation informs how we collect data and analyze data across campus. Discipline data analysis provides an opportunity for educators to identify and address disproportionality and inform decisions to create more equitable learning environments. Scholarship helped us develop a definition of cultural responsiveness within a SWPBIS framework to emphasize cultural identities, voice, a supportive environment, situational appropriateness, all informed by equity-minded, data-based decision-making. We encourage school teams to include broad community representation, develop inclusive structures and practices to support explicit conversation and transparency, where decisions reflect the cultural values of staff, students, families, and communities. Data-based decisions will then ensure that SW expectations are developed and taught to address the values and beliefs of the entire school community. Emphasis on enhancing equity through the implementation of PBIS relies on adequate and ongoing professional development with staff. Providing all staff access to quality research-based practices, along with opportunities to reflect, dialogue, and contribute to the development of classroom instruction and discipline policies, supports school-wide PBIS implementation with fidelity and increases opportunities to enhance equity throughout the building. Educators can begin to interrupt their own unconscious biases when they better understand the concept of implicit bias as part of the human condition. School-wide PBIS implementation, matched with the identification of VDP and neutralizing routines, helps school staff address others with balance and model equity for all members of the school community. The CPC invites you to join us on this journey to learn how cultural responsiveness, trauma-informed practices, social-emotional learning, school-based mental health, and restorative practices align with and are supported by universal PBIS implementation. Our brief videos will introduce a practice, demonstrate the overlap with PBIS, and identify additional features specific to these practices that enhance learning environments for all students, staff, and families when combined with PBIS. Stay tuned! Also, mark your calendars for the California PBIS Coalition Conference, taking place September 13th through the 15th. where you can engage in deeper learning related to PBIS implementation and integration of practices. Information is available on the CPC website, accessible through the QR code displayed here. For more information on the California PBIS Coalition, please visit our website at www.pbisca.org. And for all the latest updates related to PBIS, please visit the website for the Center on PBIS at www.pbis.org. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to you being part of the California PBIS Coalition's Connecting the Dots Learning Series.